the way he talk, and I'm not in this position because of any. I'm in this position if he wants to work with me.
Just when it seemed like the highly anticipated showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford was nothing but a distant dream, there's been a surprising twist. The hope for the mega match has been reignited after Canelo Alvarez and Saudi boxing mogul Turki Alalshikh buried the hatchet during a live call. But before we get into who played the peacemaker in this situation, let's unpack the drama that's been brewing between these two. For weeks, the tension between Canelo and Turki Alalshikh was palpable. Canelo Alvarez became the first prominent figure in boxing to find himself at odds with Alalshikh, a man whose financial power has revolutionized the sport in recent years. It took a fighter with the stature and fan base of Canelo Alvarez to stand his ground against someone as influential as Turki Alalshikh. Despite the immense pressure, Canelo held firm, refusing to bow to Alalshikh's demands. Thankfully, that chapter seems to be behind them. The beef was finally squashed after a live call where Eddie Hearn, acting as the mediator, brought the two together. Hearn, who has previously worked with Canelo as his promoter under Matchroom Boxing, is currently in business with Turki Alalshikh and has benefited significantly from the Saudi mogul's investments in the sport. During the call, Hearn was with Alalshikh and orchestrated the conversation that led to the resolution. It's clear that Hearn had been in discussions with both parties separately before this pivotal moment, paving the way for this truce.
I also understand Sal's position, which was, look, I've got a fight coming up. No, I'm not. I'm focused on that, and then we'll talk later. Sal's gonna do whatever the fuck Sal wants to do. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, and I love the...
Canelo Alvarez sees his fight against Edgar Berlanga as a major event, despite Berlanga's trash-talking. He believes that his potential bout with Terence Crawford heavily relies on him securing a victory over Berlanga. In Canelo's view, Turki Alalshikh only brought up the Crawford fight after Crawford's match with Israel Madov, as that was the key hurdle to clear.
Whether it's even a strategy that Sal has, which is like, you pay me the money, I'll have the fight.
Canelo feels that the same rules aren't being applied to him, despite being the clear favorite. He believes that only a win against Edgar Berlanga will truly qualify him for the Crawford fight, and he wants to avoid any unnecessary distractions for now. On the other hand, Turki Alalshikh didn't fully grasp Canelo's perspective after his separate discussions with both fighters. Eddie Hearn stepped in, explained each person's standpoint, and brought them together on a live call to squash the beef. The call was brief, with Canelo taking the time to explain his position and apologize. Clip.
I love Canelo. I think he's a great fighter. He's got his own mind. He does business his way. And if the deal's right.
In the world of boxing, where rivalries are forged both inside and outside the ring, the recent tension between Canelo Alvarez and Saudi boxing mogul Turki Alalshikh has captivated fans and insiders alike. The potential mega fight between Canelo and Terence Crawford has been hanging in the balance, with both sides maneuvering for position. What started as a clash of wills has now become a case study in the complexities of boxing politics, where egos, business interests, and timing all play crucial roles. Canelo Alvarez, a name synonymous with greatness in the sport, has made it clear that his upcoming fight against Edgar Berlanga is not just another bout. Despite Berlanga's relentless trash-talking, Canelo understands the gravity of this match. To him, it's a gateway, perhaps the only gateway, to a potential fight with Terence Crawford. Canelo has expressed that his chances of facing Crawford hinge on a decisive victory over Berlanga. The pressure is immense, not only because of Berlanga's skills, but because of what's at stake. Turki Alalshikh, who has been a major player in bringing big fights to life, only began seriously discussing the Crawford fight after Crawford's victory over Israel Madov. That win cleared the way for a potential Canelo-Crawford showdown, but Canelo feels that the expectations placed on him are unfair. Despite being the overwhelming favorite, he believes that only a win against Berlanga will qualify him for the Crawford fight. For now, he insists, distractions need to be kept at bay. Turki Alalshikh, on the other hand, didn't fully grasp Canelo's perspective. After holding separate discussions with both fighters, Alalshikh was left puzzled by Canelo's reluctance to engage in talks about a Crawford fight. The Saudi mogul, who has been instrumental in financing some of the biggest fights in boxing lately, was eager to make the Canelo-Crawford match a reality. Eddie Hearn, a seasoned promoter with strong relationships with both Canelo and Turki, found himself in the middle of this tense situation. Recognizing the potential for a major fight, Hearn took it upon himself to bridge the gap. He explained each person's standpoint to the other, highlighting the differences in mindset and approach. Eventually, Hearn brought the two together on a live call to squash the beef. During the call, Canelo explained his position and even offered an apology, acknowledging that he should have communicated better. He made it clear that his focus on the Berlanga fight was not meant as a slight against Turki or his ambitions. Turki, for his part, suggested that Canelo might have been looking for a reason to develop a feud, but ultimately wished him well in his fight against Berlanga. Turki hoped that once Canelo emerged victorious, they could revisit the Crawford fight. Before the call ended, Canelo addressed a key issue that had been fueling rumors and speculation. He clarified that his fight against Berlanga, scheduled for September 14th, was merely a coincidence and not an attempt to stage a competition with Turki Alalshikh's UFC event on the same day. Canelo emphasized that he always fights on Mexican Independence Day, a tradition that holds deep personal and cultural significance for him. Contrary to the rumors spread by many, including Oscar de la Hoya, Canelo insisted that his fight was not intended to overshadow Turki's UFC event. Eddie Hearn's interest in ending the feud was evident from the start. With strong ties to both Canelo and Turki, Hearn had no desire to be caught in the middle of such a tricky situation. Now that peace has been restored, Hearn is optimistic about the future. Despite the underlying tension between Canelo and Turki, Hearn believes that the differences can be overcome in time. In an interview following the resolution of the dispute, Eddie Hearn spoke candidly about the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. "It's difficult," Hearn admitted, "because I'm very fond of both Canelo and Turki. His Excellency has one thing on his mind: making the biggest fights in boxing. He probably shares a lot of the frustrations that boxing fans have had over the past few years. What he's bringing to the sport is incredibly refreshing, because he has no interest in mediocre fights." Hearn continued, "In His Excellency's mind, the fights he wants to see are Canelo Alvarez against Terence Crawford, and he's committed to making them happen. He approached me at the first press conference in New York and said, 'I want to make Canelo versus Crawford. Go speak to Saul, and let's make this fight.' So I did. I reached out to Saul and told him that His Excellency wanted to make this fight happen. But Saul said, 'Look, I'm focused on this fight. I won't talk about another fight until after Berlanga.'" This difference in approach created a sense of frustration for Turki Alalshikh. In his world, deals are made quickly and efficiently. "Let's make the fight now," Turki insisted. "You come to the hotel now, and we'll get the deal done." But Canelo wasn't interested in rushing into anything. For him, the fight with Berlanga was the priority, and any discussions about future fights would have to wait until after that bout. This refusal to engage in immediate negotiations was a source of frustration for Turki, who felt that the window of opportunity for the Crawford fight was closing. He had hoped to schedule the fight for February, but with Canelo unwilling to commit, those plans were in jeopardy. The tension between the two sides began to mount, and what started as a disagreement over timing